Thank you, Senator. Senator Thune.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you all for being here today and answering our questions about a subject that's awfully important to the American economy and the global economy as well. So I'd like to ask Mr. Bhatia, if I might, your former Deputy U.S. Trade Rep during the Bush administrations. I'd be interested in hearing your view regarding the timing of TPA. Many of us believe that we need Trade Promotion Authority to successfully conclude the Trans-Pacific Partnership and other trade agreements, just as the U.S.-EU agreement. Yet we know that renewal of TPA is likely to be contentious and is going to take time obviously for Congress to process. Given that reality, do you believe the Obama administration is running the risk of holding up conclusion of TPP if they continue to delay their request for TPA? And a follow-up question would be, do you agree, at least with my assessment, that TPA is essential if we want to successfully conclude TPP and other trade negotiations?
Thank you, Senator. I agree, as mentioned in response to the question from Senator Hatch. I agree that TPA, is very important. It's important to the negotiations and the negotiators, and it will be important to close. So I certainly think it's something that I would urge the Congress to move on, and I know the administration has indicated its interest in seeing that as well. In terms of timing, look, as you can tell, obviously the negotiations have been going forward for several years without TPA. I think that can continue to happen. I do think it gets harder to get to closure on the very tough issues in the absence of assurance, and when your trading partners don't have assurance that necessarily that the deals that they're going to strike are ones that will ultimately be lasting in the Congress. So I think if you're a negotiator, you want to get TPA, and you probably want to get it as quickly as you can. That shouldn't stop the negotiations, though, from proceeding in the interim. Right.
But do you share the concern that I have, perhaps even a fear that if we don't have a TPA, that the TPP gets unnecessarily delayed?
I think at a certain point, while they're moving their way through, we can do it. But if the goal is to close this agreement this year, I think we need to get TPA, and we need to get it relatively soon.
Okay. I want to follow up on some questions that Senator Grassley raised with regard to sanitary and phytosanitary issues in this agreement. To be truly effective, and I guess I'd pose this of Mr. Suber, Mr. Hansen, I believe commitments in that area are going to need to be enforceable so that we can hold our trading partners accountable. And you touched on this in response to a question from Senator Grassley, that the suggestion that, however, that making TPP SPS commitments enforceable in the same way that WTO SPS commitments are already enforceable would somehow put the American food safety at risk. And I'm just wondering maybe if you could rebut those claims. How important are enforceable sanitary and phytosanitary commitments to U.S. agricultural exporters?
Well, thank you for the suggestion for clarification. I think our regulations are primarily based on science today. I think we can defend our standards based on science. I think we have every opportunity to evolve those if different science comes to fore that may be different than the science we may have used. In other words, science evolves. But ultimately, it should be about making sure the food is safe and making sure that the best science is used to determine that, so that it doesn't get in the way of using food safety as some other goal. It's about making sure you meet customer preferences, both in quality and in safety. So the enforcement mechanism is fundamentally important. Otherwise, it becomes a never-ending chain of consultations and discussions without ultimately achieving what the underlying goal is, which is to facilitate trade.
Yeah. Mr. Hansen?
I concur with what he had to say. The other thing is that if you negotiate an agreement, you have to make sure that what you negotiate you can enforce. It has no value if you don't.
Okay. There are some in the agricultural community that are obviously very excited about this for obvious reasons. We're very excited about the possibilities and what it could mean for American agriculture. But there are a number of significant outstanding issues that would have to be addressed concerning Japan's persistent barriers to certain segments of U.S. agriculture. And I'd be interested in knowing, and I guess this is a question that perhaps any of you could respond to, do you view Japan as more of an opportunity or a challenge with respect to their inclusion in the TPP, and do you believe that the U.S. Trade Rep's office has done an adequate job at securing promises from the Japanese government that they're truly willing to negotiate in some of these sensitive areas? More of a general question.
Well, I guess that our feeling that they moved on the 30-month of age was an indication that the Japanese government was sincere about their position. Montana, we have shipped a lot of grain to Japan. The only question that I have had, the way I understand the process, is that the grain is bought in Montana by Japanese companies, but the only salesman they have or person they can sell it to is the government, and then they have to buy it back at a different price. And that's, to a certain degree, in my mind, a little bit of an issue.
Okay. Mr. Hirschman, anybody?
We welcome Japan's entry, and I think Japan has agreed to participate as a country seeking a high standard agreement, and we believe that's the case. We think it will actually make the opportunity out of the TPP far greater and help create momentum for it. I would add that, as you correctly pointed out, and it's not specific to Japan, that countries today have many means of trying to protect their markets that don't involve the traditional trade tariffs. And that's why we think this ill-considered safe harbor proposal that the U.S. administration might be considering to exempt a product would actually be the wrong approach and will actually backfire on us and will lead to other countries finding innovative ways to exempt U.S. products from their markets.
Okay, great. Yeah,
Senator, I echo it. I think Japan represents an enormous opportunity. This has been, in some ways, sort of a major goal of U.S. trade policy for decades, to get Japan to open up and reform. It's an enormous economy. It presents enormous opportunities for American companies in all of our sectors. But Japan's been a slow growth place, and it's desperately needed reform. And if TPP can enable it to gather the political will internally to finally make those tough choices, I think it could be a tremendously beneficial opportunity for the United States and for American business.
Okay, appreciate that. Thank you all very much. Thank you, Mr.